Hello and welcome to the City of Cedar Falls Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for Wednesday, July 24th. I call this meeting to order. Can I get a roll call, please?
Alberhowski. Here. Gribovich. Here. Hartley.
Here.
Henderson.
Here.
Johnson. Moser. Here. Sorensen.
Here.
Stallmaker.
Here.
Thank you. Looking for approval of minutes. Looking for a motion or discussion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, that'll go into record. This is the time in the meeting for any public comment for anything that is not on the agenda tonight. If anyone would like to speak, I see no takers. We will move on to old business, which is preliminary plat for North Cedar Estates. And is Tom or Michelle? Michelle has this one?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson.
Mr. Chairman, I need to recuse myself from this
All right, thank
this
you very
item.
much.
I'll be back.
This is the second review of the preliminary plat for North Cedars Estates. The North Cedar Estates is north of West Lone Tree Road and west of Cypress Avenue. The parcel that we're looking at tonight is zoned R2. The property owner does own a parcel that is also an A1. As mentioned at the last meeting, the plat meets the R2 zoning district, and they are proposing a preliminary plat with 33 residential lots, 3 tracks for stormwater, and a park. The plat will be connecting Hiawatha and Pocahontas roads through Sioux Court. And then the 3 stormwater basins are shown on the screen, and they will be able to handle all the 100-year storm event. And the Parks and Recreation Commission recommended approval at their July 11th meeting. They also encouraged in their motion a larger park for future development. Staff recommends approval of the preliminary plat as presented with the corrections in the staff report for final plat. I ran through this very quickly, so feel free if you have any questions to bring those up. Thank you.
Thank you. Does commission have any questions for staff? Okay, is the petitioner here tonight would like to speak to this item?
Dan Aarons, VJ Engineering. I'm just here to answer any questions. I was the engineer one of the engineers that worked on this project, so.
Okay.
If you have any questions?
I just had a question about the larger park. Has that been agreed to expand the park that was on the original plat?
So the Parks and Recreation Commission just recommended a larger park for if a future development does happen. So it's a recommendation at this point.
So if the development develops further to the north,
Right.
that would have to be rezoned and brought in for a plat at that time. So I believe, and Mr. Stallnaker can fill us in on those details since he's on the Parks and Rec Commission as well. But the thought was when that comes in for rezoning, that would be then the time to consider the larger park to serve the larger development. But the commission, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the commission felt that this was a good-sized park to serve these 33 lots initially.
Okay, thank you.
Does anyone have any questions for the developer? I think we're good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone from the public that would like to comment on this agenda item? I see none, and bring it back to commission. This is pretty straightforward to me and makes sense, and I'd like to see the development out on the north side of town, and I think any concern of any runoff from that open field would be improved by developing the area with the retention. So I'm very positive on this.
Agreed.
I would.
Seems like a nice development. I was just going to pitch into it. Yeah, and I do appreciate the developer and contributing for the park. I do think that's very important. So that's great to see.
I would move for approval of this.
So moved.
We have a second. All right. Motion and a second. Need a roll call vote, please.
Sorry, who did the second?
Henderson.
Okay, very good, thank you. Alberhaski,
Aye.
Gribovich,
Aye.
Hartley,
Aye.
Henderson,
Aye.
Moser. Aye. Stallnaker.
Aye.
That motion carries.
All right, thank you. That carries, and we'll move on to council. Now for new business, we have a minor plat, Aloy Minor Subdivision Plat Number 1. And tonight, that is, Tom has that. Thank you.
Good evening, Commission. Yes, this is a request by Levi and Amber Loy and Joseph and Melanie Griffith to, I pressed the wrong button, to combine lots in a previous plat from 1958. It was the 28th Street plat. And the address is 514 and 528 West 28th Street. There are 6 lots. Currently, the Loys own the 2 on the west, lot 11 and 12, and the Griffiths own the other lots. Their Griffiths house is on lot 9. The Loys house is on Griffith is on lot 14. Loys is on lot 12. And the Griffiths purchased just the 2 lots in between, basically to keep it from being developed in the future, and that way it had storage for the floodplain. The 2 houses, again, as I said, are on there. The lots on the south side, there's not right-of-way from 29th Street. When this was platted, only 33 feet of right-of-way was platted. Nothing has ever been added, so there's very unlikely, unless if someone wants to build a street, be any development on those south lots. And so they're requesting to combine them, to combine their lots and split the 2 in the middle. Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go.
Yeah. To split the 2 in the middle in half equally, and then the Loys will purchase the west half, the west those 2 lots, and the Griffiths will keep the other half. All the existing easements will remain. The property is in a floodplain as it's designated, but since the houses are already built and there already will be lots, and those houses are in the 500-year floodplain and they may be elevated, there's really no issue if something should change and the houses be rebuilt. With that said, staff recommends approval of MPT 2402, the Loy Minor Subdivision Plat 1, to subdivide or to recombine these lots into 2 lots with the address of 514 and 528 West 28th Street. Provided all technical comments are addressed. I will note that on the plat in your packet, it shows flood zones X and flood zone AE. That X is actually X shaded, and the surveyor has updated that plat to designate that, because the X shaded is the 500-year floodplain which we regulate. And so that'll be on the plat as well, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Okay, thank you. Does commission have any additional questions for staff? Is the petitioner here tonight like to speak to this item? Is there any public comment on this item? I will bring it back to commission. I mean, it makes sense, pretty straightforward of what they're trying to achieve here. I don't have any objective.
Yeah, I'd make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All right, we got a motion and a second. Can I get a roll call vote, please?
Alberhaski,
Aye.
Gribovich,
Aye.
Hartley,
Aye.
Henderson,
Aye.
Moser. Aye. Sorensen,
Aye.
Stallnaker.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right.
Now we'll go on to council then.
All right, thank you. Well, that ends any old and new business today. And is there any commission updates for us?
We do have one update, and Ms. Sheets is here to give you an update on some changes at the state level.
Okay,
Good
thank you.
evening, Commissioners. How are you this evening?
Great.
Stephanie Sheets, Director of Community Development. think most of you have met me, so good to see you. Thank you for your service. I wanted to give the commission an update on a change in the state code that affects your meeting and gives you some additional flexibility, so we wanted to convey that to the commission. As of the beginning of July, the governor signed into code the allowance that local government bodies, such as the Planning and Zoning Commission, can meet by electronic means. You may be aware, for some of you that were on the commission during COVID, or maybe you noticed that the governor had issued a proclamation that waived the requirement in the code at that time about having to demonstrate impracticality or infeasibility about meeting in person, because that was a state requirement to that point. And so that has been modified to allow flexibility about electronic meetings for our boards and commissions, for members specifically. It does not speak to the public part of it. It's about allowing you as commissioners to join electronically or to choose if you want to have your meetings in a different format. There are a variety of means, as you know, either by phone or a hybrid type where some people join via Teams or Zooms or whatever it might be, or 100% electronic. Staff would recommend that the commission continue to meet in person with a flexibility of if you have a timing constraint or you might be traveling for work or vacation and wish to join electronically, that the commission might be open to doing that. But wanted to bring it up for the commission to discuss what your preference would be. If there's a preference to be 100% virtual, it adds a little bit of logistics for us in terms of the public notice about the meeting, because then the place of the meeting is virtual and we have to then accommodate public comment virtually. And that can be a little bit more logistically challenging for us versus just bringing you in electronically to the meeting, which we were able to handle that pretty easily during COVID. So with that, I'll see if there are questions that I might be able to answer, or it's really for the commission to discuss, and really like to kind of hear your preference.
I have no questions, but I do like meeting in person, and I don't have a problem supporting if someone's on vacation and wants to participate that they can Zoom in or whatever the preferred preference is. But ideally, I like to have everyone here and the public here, and I like the face-to-face.
I agree, and I think some of our most powerful meetings are when we have really good dialogue and back and forth with the public, and you're not going to have that in a virtual setting. So I love the flexibility. If we're traveling, we can log in and we don't have to miss the meeting, but I think the meetings when we can in person is ideal.
I would echo that. And then in addition to how strong having in-person meetings is, there are occasions where people who come for public comment do have materials that they bring with them. And so it's just really nice to be in person and be able to receive those at that time.
So I would just comment that I'm someone who travels a lot for work. And in fact, was mentioning, Gordon, I'm getting a total knee replacement in 3 weeks. And so I've been worried about being able to come here in person, but I do like in person as well. But for someone who's sometimes I don't have control over it, I think it's really helpful to be able to attend electronically.
I would agree with the same thing.
Same. I like in person with the ability if one of us needs to jump in electronically.
Okay. Well, what we would ask is that if the commission could have the courtesy to give staff hopefully a 24-hour notice, so that we're not running around just a couple minutes before the meeting trying to get a link over to you or that type of thing. And we're just going to kind of see how it goes with all of our different board and commission meetings. And I've mentioned to some of the other boards and commissions that the council actually has in their kind of their bylaws, their rules of procedure, they've indicated that a council member needs to advise the Friday before a meeting, I think Friday by noon, before a Monday meeting if they're going to join electronically. And so we may take a look at whether we need to update bylaws, but we don't want to do that just yet. Let's just see how it goes, if there's any changes and thoughts about it, and then we'll go from there.
All right.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much for the update. All right. If there's no more commission updates, I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Everyone have a great evening. Thank you.
All right.